To me, books are one of the most important and inspiring things in my life. Without them, I don't know where I'd be. But before I get too far ahead, let's take a look at where my passion started. As a child, I loved to read. Though I was at first enchanted by the colorful pictures in golden books, I grew into adoring the stories as well. One of my personal favorites was The King, the Mice, and the Cheese. The book had once been my mom's, and, ironically enough, my mom was the one who ignited my love of reading.
Did you grow up reading books?
Yes, I did, all the time.
Who influenced your reading habit?
Mostly my mother. She took my sister and I to the public library, and I cannot remember a time in my childhood where I did not have a library book in my room.
Why did you find it so important to continue the reading tradition with your children?
Well, because books are the future. In order to have a successful future, one really needs to have a good reading skill, and I wanted that for my children.
As it was, with my mom's side of the family being readers, I would often read with my grandma and my great-grandma whenever my family and I visited. I would also read with other siblings and close family members, as I am here with my cousin Quinn and one of my little brothers peeking over our shoulders. As I aged, my literacy grew from merely reading to include writing as well. I wrote several stories in those early years and began to challenge myself with harder books. I loved the adventuresome accounts of the Little House series, the sometimes whacked-out poetry of Silverstein, and numerous other interesting books as well. The key component of almost all my book choices was action, and The Call of the Wild was no exception. In 5th grade, I read this classic novel and completed a small pamphlet-style book report, which was just the beginning of my reading comprehension. In 6th grade, I was pushed further, given the first opportunity to write creatively within a specific genre. I began to devour harder, more interesting books, like Tolkien's The Hobbit and Anne of Green Gables, ever widening my collection. My scope of writing widened as well, what with writing assignments that called for my creative juices to flow, middle school autobiographies and creative writing pieces, 9th grade travel diaries for geography, a scientific newspaper, a piece written in Spanish about my dad in 10th grade, and several 10th grade honors English papers helped develop my skills over the years. And I cannot forget the writers club I was part of my sophomore year. Despite all the goofing off we did as friends, I learned some helpful tips about making your writing exciting to read that I'll never forget. Though I read mostly fantasy novels, Advanced Placement English introduced me to books, like Bird by Bird, that I normally would have not read, but actually have thoroughly enjoyed. My AP 11 teacher, Mr. Gregg, also gave me the tools to sharpen my talent with words and produce marvelously written essays and pieces in prose. I would not know my audience, or my ethos, logos, and pathos for that matter, near as well had I not had him as a mentor. Although I was unable to take AP my senior year, I did take a creative writing class, which gave me the chance to write my favorite genre, fiction. The works of C.S. Lewis, who wrote the Narnia series, and J.R.R. Tolkien, with his absolutely top-notch Lord of the Rings trilogy, have had a sort of ripple effect on my creativity. In fact, these authors were who inspired me to begin writing in the first place. I have written several short and uncompleted stories over the years, but those many takes at trial and error have opened the doors for my current work in progress. Of course, the progress is slow going, but I work on my precious manuscript whenever I can. Music literacy has also had a wonderful effect on my life and my work. The various pieces from marching band, symphony band, the scores from the 2 high school musicals I played in the pit orchestra for, and uncountable movie soundtracks have been stored in my mind and help give life to my work. I often think of a musical theme as I write, to help me find the mood I'm searching for. Besides that, the act of reading and making music itself gives me a feeling as if my heart had wings. Without band or music, I don't know what I'd do. As far as literacy pertains to my future, I'm going to learn the art of computer animation, like what Pixar does, and let my creativity have a shot at the technological side of literacy. I mean, bringing a storyboard to life is kind of a form of literacy, right? Whatever happens, I'm going to follow the road of my dreams and let my colorful imagination soar.